Welcome to the SPSS tutorial video on comparing categorical variables using chi-square. Today we'll examine two categorical variables rather than categorical variables predicting continuous variables or two continuous variables as being correlated with one another. The variables we'll be using today come from the therapy dataset we've used in previous videos. Today we'll be looking whether the variable of therapy type, which has 3 levels, and the variable female, which remember is coded as 0 for males and 1 for females, whether there are an equal number of men and women in each of our therapy conditions. To run a chi-square for two categorical variables, we'll go to Analyze and Descriptive Statistics. Under Descriptive Statistics, we'll choose Crosstabs. Now under the crosstabs, it doesn't matter which variables you choose as the rows or columns. This will simply dictate the organization within the output. For the sake of this example, I'll choose therapy type under a row and participant sex, or the variable named female, under the columns. We also want to get a statistical test, which our instructor will talk about as the chi-square test. To make sure this test is included in the output, we go under Statistics and we check for the chi-square. There are, of course, several other statistics listed here that your professor may or may not ask you to complete. Once we've included the chi-square statistic, we can also search the cell and format menus for things like percentages in addition to frequencies of people within each group. But for this example, we'll simply include our output. The first thing we notice is the valid number of cases for our entire study. We then see distributions, a frequency table for males and females within each type of therapy. Now on an eyeball it looks like these are relatively normally distributed. There are a few more women than men in each cell, but of course there are more women than men overall. We then get a chi-square test of whether this difference, whether men and women are equally distributed across cells, is true. This is the chi-square test statistic under the Pearson chi-square. In this case, we can see that the chi-square test is not statistically different from 0, which indicates that there is an equal distribution between males and females across the 3 therapy types. If the test were significant, it would indicate that we had either more males or females in some of the therapy types than others, or an unequal distribution.